the Stallion Research Film of the Month. Brought to you by Horse Logic. Visit them at horselogicpro.com.
On the road again, out hunting the stories of quarter horse racing to bring them to you, the viewers of StallionResearch.com. Passing acres and acres of cotton fields, this pursuit leads me north to the town of Lubbock, Texas, the city of Northwest Texas known as the birthplace of rock and roll legend Buddy Holly. But I'm not going to see him, but instead going up to Lubbock to see someone that many in our sport of quarter horse racing consider a legend himself. The meeting place is Eddie's Barbecue on the southeast side of Lubbock. You have to stop in and try it, maybe on your next trip to the mountain in Ruidoso. It's the spot for this episode of Dinner with Thompson. Brought directly to you at the barn, Horse Logic, equine supplement products scientifically formulated for the competitive horse and chosen by top professionals in the quarter horse racing world to help you achieve success. From sail-fitting yearlings to putting powerful muscle growth into a runner, Horse Logic gives horsemen the advantage of proven supplements for peak performance. The hottest name in supplements in the quarter horse racing world, Horse Logic Professional. If you haven't figured out the next guest of Dinner with Thompson, well, it just so happens that I'm in Lubbock, Texas to visit with world champion trainer Blane Wood. Oh, and let me tell you what a racing season 2018 was for Wood Racing Stables. Team Wood pulled off wins in the Grade 1 Rainbow Futurity with MM4 in the morning, Blane Wood's fourth win in the prestigious event, a win in the Grade 1 Texas Classic with Flying Cowboy 123, and to cap off the year with the biggest achievement in our sport as a trainer, a win in the All American Futurity, a race that has eluded him since his first starter in the Labor Day event back in 2005. Blane is now fourth on the all-time list of starters in the All American Futurity behind Jack Brooks, Sleepy Gilbreth, and Paul Jones. And in January of this year, the Wood Racing operation was recognized for outstanding achievement for the prior racing season with the Blaine Schwanevelt Award for AQHA World Champion Trainer. And since then, Blane is back in Lubbock, getting some of the most well-bred individuals ready for their run of their 2-year-old season, maybe there being another 2-year-old to make a run at the Triple Crown events this summer in Ruidoso.
Blane, thanks for taking me to this barbecue place. I mean, it's really good here. Blane, wanted to start off with telling me about, you kind of were just born into this industry. I mean, your father was a celebrated horse trainer. Was there really any other career path you could have taken?
No, I never thought about doing anything else. Dad was a workaholic. He was an uneducated man, and he just worked all the time. And he started doing this horse deal after he'd get off his odd jobs of hauling firewood or hauling hay, whatever. People would bring him horses to break, and he was kind of the horse whisperer, if you will. And then he got to where they was bringing him horses to break to race, and that's how he kind of got started. And it just kind of snowballed from there. But I think by the time I was in junior high, of course I was into sports and did all the sports deal, but I never dreamed of doing anything else. Never entered my mind.
Talk to me about the early parts of before the bigger name horses started coming your way. Talk to me about the leaner years when you and Sandy, first started going and building a family and running the roads back and forth to Trinity Meadows and all the littler tracks and all.
We met at Lubbock Downs. Her sister was assistant racing secretary in the Lubbock Downs racing office. And her name was Brenda, and me and Brenda were friends, and then Sandy came to visit Brenda one weekend, was having races, and that's where I asked Brenda, who's that girl? She said, that's my little sister. First started out, I didn't have very many. I was working for my dad, and then I had a few horses on the side, and eventually, I broke off from my dad and started training a few, and I was breaking lots of horses for outside guys that haul them in there to Lubbock Downs, and I would ride them, get $5 a head to break them, and they'd bring them in 3 or 4 times a week. And then I had a few guys that I would go to their farms close here to Lubbock, and I'd ride their horses, and I started doing that. Then I just knew always just keep working hard, and this is it's got to pay off.
In the beginning, when it was those lean years, did you ever envision you'd have these 130 barns full of 2-year-olds?
Heck no.
Some of the top hopefuls.
Heck no. Well, my dad was pretty much at the top of his game. He had maybe 40 head, and I at that time that was, you know, he was really rocking. You know, he instilled those work ethics. Now he was a workaholic, and he wanted you to be at the barn every day. But working with Dad was so much fun, and he was a comical man to work for, and it just was a lot of fun. He taught me everything that I think that I know, and he was a good horseman. I always thought he'd be a real good show horse, man. His horses always looked real good. He told me one time, so maybe you can't make them run, or maybe they can't run, but you can make them look good. Yeah.
There they go. Up along the inside, Papa Wheelie is going to the front. Sage's Bell Star. On the outside, Pie in the Sky with that lead. And Slick and Slick is high in the sky in front.
Talk to me about that All American Futurity win. As a young man, witnessing, you saw your dad's struggles and all, and then 79 comes around and
oh, that was I thought there'd never be another bad day. You know, he worked all his life for that race. I ponied that horse to the gate, Pie in the Sky. Danny Cardozo rode him. Me and Danny were still friends to this day, and of course I worshiped the ground that Danny walked on. I thought he was the best thing since sliced bread, Danny Cardozo. And anyway, well, I told my dad, if I'm at the gate, and I said, if we win, you know, get out in the middle of the track and wave your hat or something, you know. And I could hear the announcer saying Pie in the Sky in front. And so, of course, I seen Dad out there waving the hat, and I can still remember it like it was yesterday.
Right.
And it was cool. It was good. And I thought, man, this ain't nothing to this. We'll do this again.
Right.
So, but that was the pinnacle of working with Dad. At that time, you know, everything's going your way. There's never going to be another poor day.
Right.
Dad was a real quiet man, but that he was very, very content after that race.
You mentioned Holland Pass was one of your first Grade 1 wins, but one of them that jumps out at me is you made a Triple Crown run, a legitimate Triple Crown run with Leading Spirit.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that Triple Crown run.
Yeah, of course, Holland Pass was our first Grade 1 winner, and that was, I think that really what got me kicked off. I think when people understand that you're capable of training a Grade 1 winner.
Right.
But Leading Spirit was just nothing but a racehorse. J.J. Gonzalez helped me with that horse, rode him. He was a fast horse, and of course we win the West Texas Futurity with him. Then we win the Ruidoso Futurity with him, and then win the Rainbow. And after the Rainbow, the horse, he didn't pull up real good.
Right.
Not bad, but not 100%. And so, but he was probably one of the fastest horses I ever trained. And Dr. Barry Thompson, of course, owned him, and I think Danny Urschel bought into him, and because we thought we had a shot, and we didn't even qualify for the All American.
Right.
You know, he missed it. And of course, who won the All American? That's why you're in this business. If you're in the quarter horse industry and don't want to win the All American, you're in the wrong business.
Right.
And that's been my lifelong dream forever.
Well, let's talk about that lifelong dream. You came from a name in the horse racing industry. You started making a name for yourself, but it was that one elusive race that obviously everybody wants to win, which there's a long list of people that race has eluded, but it was one that eluded you for quite some time.
You know, everybody around you kept saying, you're going to win it, you're going to win it. Well, sure, just, you know, win. You know, we've qualified for it numerous times, and I had come to the conclusion that if it was meant to be, it would happen. You know, everybody said, have you had pressure on you up until then? Maybe a little bit, wanting to win it really bad, because there was years we had the favorite 2 or 3 different times. We had the fastest time for it a couple times. Right. And we'd run second. We run everywhere but first and last.
Right.
And it's been you just got to have the best horse on that particular day. And really, I don't think the best horse wins that race.
Right.
Overall, it's just the best horse on that day. And I just think, well, one of these days, maybe we'll just have the best horse at the right time.
Did you start with that streak of having all those fastest qualifiers, having multiple horses in the race, having the favorite going into the race, and not actually having yielded a win, did you start second guessing, thinking
No.
that maybe we need to reformat
something-
how
do
we're
something
from
different?
the time of the trial to the finals, that maybe we need to do something different in these horses?
I think back earlier in the, I'm going to say in the 80s, I felt like that we didn't have the quality of horse that could run the 440 yards. I would run those horses early and get, and by the time you get to the All American, they're wore out, so to speak. They're tired, maybe a little sore, but that started changing after I win a Grade 1. And then the only thing that we've changed is we give them a little more time to develop. And now over the last 12 to 15 years, maybe 20 years, I'm aging myself, but every horse is a little bit different, and some horses need to run early.
Right.
Our way of breaking them, the way of trying to get one ready to run, I don't think we've changed that much. The horses have changed a little bit. I think that the horses are not as sound as made as they used to be because they're faster. They're just fast.
Outside with Bad Habit, Jess in between horses, Pilot Points Moon along the inside, Apocalyptical Jess and Tools in the sky is running big, Apocalyptical Jess from Tools in the sky, then Ramirez on La Luna and on just Special B, it's gonna be Apocalyptical Jess and Raul Ramirez Jr. It's not just pie in the sky, it's the All American Futurity, and Blane Wood joins his dad, Leo Wood, to make history, becoming the first father and son to train an All-American Futurity winner.
Take me back to that day of the All American Futurity. You send those 3 horses out. Talk to me about all the culmination of things that are going through your mind.
You're thinking, well, is this going to be the one? Is this going to be the time you win the All-American? And then I think I put myself back like, don't be really disappointed if you don't, because it could happen. We've been there so many times and we didn't get it done.
Right.
On this particular one, Trey says, Dad, this is going to be the best shot we've had. I said, yeah, I've heard this. I've heard this before, but we'll see what happens. And he was really confident. He said, man, we're good. And I said, well, we'll just see what happens and we'll go from there. So anyway, we got up there, and after they crossed the wire, I was trying to watch all of them, and you can't watch 3 horses. You just duck and dive. And of course, I was watching the outside horse, MM, and he was running a good race. And then I see something on the inside. And at first, I didn't know it was a political, or AP. I can't hardly say apocalyptical. But I didn't know. And then I looked back here in the middle and was trying to, find where everybody's at. But when he crossed the wire, I just kind of went down on one knee, and next thing I knew, I wasn't really just sobbing, but there was tears running down my face. And there was just so much joy. There's so much, you think of all the times plumb back to, your childhood days when you're 6 and 7 years old. Me and Lyle used to draw a starting gate in the dirt road that we lived on, and would pull our bicycles up there, and we're, mocking the All American Futurity, and now here we are, not only in it, but we win it. So I thought of that. That was one of my first thoughts, and of course Dad, and then my family, how everybody was going to be elated, and we've done it. And of course the first thing now, I'm like a shark who's felt blood. I want to do it again, and I want Trey to do it. But there's no feeling like when a horse crosses that finish line in All American Futurity. Besides my family, I've never experienced nothing like that. Right. And I don't like to cry in front of nobody. I didn't care that day.
You had all those on that day.
Man, my wife was boo-hooing, and it was okay. Hey, man, we've done it. Now let's do it again, so this one ain't a fluke.
Right.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Fast forward to Texas Classic. I talked to you in the winter circle. I don't know if you remember this or not. You were wearing your jacket. It was cold, and I told you, I said, Blane, this really puts you in a position of being right there, if not being in front, for candidacy for being AQHA World Champion trainer. At the time, you told me, it's something I don't really think about. I don't know if it was probably the first time it was brought up.
It was. I had an owner or two that had mentioned it. If you looked at the East Search standings,
right?
Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and that's something that really a few years ago, Trey and I was running horses, and if he would have combined us, we would have won that award. And I started thinking about it then. To win the champion trainer, it's a great honor.
It's like icing on the cake.
Yeah, it's icing on the cake, and I don't want to name everybody because I'd leave somebody out, and I would want to do that. But my family, and without them and Ricky, this wouldn't be possible.
Who's that again?
Is it Cody Jensen or Ricky Ramirez?
Yes, I think it's Ramirez.
Yeah, Ricky Ramirez.
Yes.
Yeah.
Blane, you've been at this game a long time, and you had mentioned to me that a couple of years ago, it's not your pursuit to train until you fall out.
Sure.
One day, it's not your pursuit. You'd like to slow down, and I also get the fact that you really enjoy being on the farm more than you actually enjoy being out on the racetrack. So
I'm at that age where I'm 60. And I don't feel 60, but I am 60, and I love getting one ready. Gate broke. Somebody even said the other day, one of my owners, we worked some horses here at home the other day, and they said, you have just as big a smile on your face working these babies as you do walking in the winter circle. I said, well, we're out here in the middle of a cotton field, and I said, and it's a lot of gratification, but I love breaking the babies. I used to ride all of them myself till I got too old and fat, but I still love getting one ready. I still love going through the gate breaking process, seeing them change. I think I will train as long as people will bring me horses. I think I'll do that, but to do what we've done this past year, I don't know if I think we can win the All American again. I'm hoping. We're aiming at. That is our goal. That is our goal. I'll tell you straight up. If they're going to give us one race a year, let it give us that one. But I want to see Trey do it. I like to see him win it. But as long as somebody will bring me a horse to train, I think I'll train as long as my health helps. But can do it. This place we have here, it's set up perfect for that. I don't know if I want to keep breaking 130 head. That's a chore.
I bet.
And but we're kind of set up here to break 100 head pretty. I won't say easy, but it's pretty convenient. It's efficient, and it's always exciting when you have people that's been with you a long time, and you become friends. Sometimes you become family, and but it's always it's fun to catch somebody that's exciting and really wants to get into business in the right way, if you will, and I still get excited about that. I love the horse sales and talking to the people, and I love the social aspect of it more than anything. I think I like the social aspect of it more than Trey does, you know. And Trey just likes to get the horses ready, and he's good at it. I think he's one of the best there is. But I love the people. I love to go out and eat with the people and socialize with them, and it's fun. This is fun, And if it's fun, you're really going to be good at it. We broke 132 head, and I was asked this during the awards. Well, how can you come up with 4 or 5 stakes horses? I said, well, we started with 132, and there was we feel like 132 of them was quality, good bred, good horses, and we only come up with 4 or 5 that could really run. So them odds ain't that good.